surrounds us that actually we are in harmony with within us. The ionosphere is being manipulated by U.S. government scientists using an Alaskan transmitter called HAARP, High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, which sends focused radiated power to heat up sections of the ionosphere which bounce power down again. Extremely low frequency wave from HAARP, when targeted on certain areas, can engineer weather and create mood change affecting millions of people. I remember when I was a toddler, well, in my teenage years, and Dad would always talk about that man could manipulate weather. And I've never really stopped then, of course, I'm just a rebellious someone, and just didn't really pay attention to what he was saying or looked into it. It's only since I became in my search for the truth that, I think that was right. And so now, even though my father is dead, sleeping in the soil, I still respect him for having said that, and I apologize to my Father Jehovah. And one day, I guess Father will know. The intended wattage is 1,700 billion watts of power. Now, this is from a former government insider, the those they want to flip the world upside down. 64 elements in the ground modulate with variation the gyromagnetic waves naturally coming from the ground. The Earth's natural brain's rhythm above is balanced with these. These are the same minerals as the red blood corpuscle, or corpuscle. There are the same minerals as the red blood corpuscle. There is a relation between the blood and gyromagnetic waves, and then an imbalance between Schumann and gyromagnetic waves disrupt biorhythms. So I did a bit of digging in regard to this term. And the Schumann resonance are quasi-standing electromagnetic waves that exist in the Earth electromagnetic cavity. The space between, and now this cavity is the space between the surface of the Earth and the ionosphere. Like waves on a string, they are not present all the time, but have to be excited to be observed. They are not caused by anything internal to the Earth, either its crust or its core. They seem to be related to electrical activity in the atmosphere, particularly during times of intense lightning activity. They occur at several frequencies, especially 7.8 strongest, then 14, 20, 26, 33, 39, and 45 weakest hertz, which is a cycle per second, with a daily variation of about plus 0.5 cycles per second. So long as the properties of the Earth electromagnetic cavity remains about the same, these frequencies remain the same. Presumably, there is some change due to the solar sunspot cycle as the Earth's ionosphere changes in response to the 11-year cycle of solar activity. The resonant, more on that later on, properties of this terrestrial cavity were first predicted by a German physicist, and I've looked up this physicist initials, and I came up Winfried Otto Schumann, and he lived in the year from 1888, May 20th to September 22nd, 1974, and he was a German. That's from the encyclopedia, Wikipedia. So depending on your point of view, so here is saying, depending on your point of view, so we're talking about two classes of group here, of people. Living beings either evolve, and in this natural electromagnetic environment, or were created, and I put there, we, big W, we, because I do not believe in evolution, but I do believe in the evolution of things after the creation. I believe that we evolved electronically. I believe that we evolved mechanically. I believe that we evolve knowledgeably. So there is an evolving that takes place, but there has to be a start for someone to progress into maturing and developing and growing, which I would use the term evolving, into a status that gives you more wisdom from the understanding and the knowledge that we receive. That, to me, is evolution. I believe we were created, like most of us here believe, and a whole wide of other people also, throughout the Lamb, and may Father Jehovah put His Spirit upon them as they worship in the proper time. We were created with divine intelligence, that I do believe, to live in harmony with it. We do live in harmony with nature, And I think this is where the ultimate adversary is using a tactic to such an extent that the people are becoming to worship this earth, because I believe that there are some truth out there that is the truth being presented to the public, but that it's being twisted and perverted, and we're a part of the earth and evolution, there is no creator. So if there is no creator, then we're going to worship this creation that we're from. And like James says, that our service to earth, while our worship to earth. That's what they say. And so therefore I totally disagree with that. My worship is to Father Jehovah in spirit and in truth. So you can read the rest of this at your leisure time, because you have the document, hopefully. Let's start at the middle of this, where it says, electro pollution may cause us to feel more stress, fatigue, and out of balance. Then it talks about the library research has shown that exposing living cells to the Schumann resonance had the effect of protecting them from ambient electromagnetic field, allowing the cells to increase their immune protection and decrease the absorption of depression-inducing chemical. So, you know what? Like we've heard from James, that even before the flood, man, this earth was just a beautiful sphere. Well, it was just a beautiful place to be, and sadly enough, it was corrupted. And so therefore the whole course of nature has changed. So we can corrupt this earth. Well, Father Jehovah is coming to corrupt those that corrupts the earth. Isaiah 44 and verse 24. I want to read this. Thus saith Jehovah that redeemed thee, and who formed thee from the womb. I am Jehovah that I perform all things. I stretched out the heaven alone and established the earth. And so, what are the foundations of the earth? Is the earth sitting literally on pillars in the same way that mankind, when they do architectural structures, that they sit on literal pillars so that, a post from bottom top? Or is it a metaphor, or is it an imagery that is established the earth on some kind of a foundation that is electromagnetic, and that we are in harmony with it, and that's what makes us tick, because we're part of that environment, the physical creation, not just the soil. Isaiah 44 and verse 25, which is the next one. This is a verse that interests me a lot. Who else will frustrate the tokens of those that have divining spirits and prophesy from the heart of man, turning the wise back and making their counsel foolishness? Well, he knows how to confound the wise. They think they're so wise. And they do things. These people that say they have control, they do their deeds through divining spirits. So what is that?